As the chaos in Venezuela unfolds, we must ask, how did this happen? Socialism. The country's annual inflation rate is 80,000%. I'm no economist, but I would call that a lot. In such circumstances, people are faced with grim choices: either eat their pets or move to Cuba. Many modern-day socialists will scream, but no, 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 Venezuela isn't socialism as it's supposed to be, which is what socialists have said about every single socialist country since forever. Venezuela isn't socialism, like Cuba isn't socialism, and Nicaragua isn't socialism, and Zimbabwe isn't socialism, and so on to infinity. That's the key difference between socialism and capitalism. Capitalism doesn't need liars, because it doesn't have to be perfect to work. It's decentralized. So one glitch only goes so far. But socialism is centralized. One error, and the whole thing goes to hell, which is why it needs force to survive. Like Hugo Chavez, the dead strongman, once embraced by the American celeb, Sean Penn, Danny Glover, Oliver Stone, praised the man from their comforts of capitalism. And as long as apologists exist, the media just shrugs. For the press, Venezuela is the opposite of Covington. Covington was exciting viral video, inflammatory tape they couldn't get enough of. Venezuela, it's a 12-year death spiral. So easy to ignore. We didn't. Venezuela, the socialist nightmare that Stone and Penn embraced, they've got no food, no supplies, no toilet paper. It's a crap show without toilet paper. Yeah. Seriously, they don't have toilet paper in Venezuela. Venezuela, a place literally full of crap since socialism made toilet paper scarce. I don't know about that shirt or my obsession with toilet paper. Anyway, so now the press calls Trump's actions provocative by recognizing Venezuela's opposition leader. They can go to hell, or worse, Venezuela. So, Dana, apparently Russia is upset with Donald Trump.
Yes.
There are politicians here who are in agreement. Are they in cahoots with Putin?
Well, are they colluding?
Yes. Are the Democrats in cahoots with Putin over Venezuela?
They might want to think about whose side they're on here,
yes.
Right? So, yeah, you have, like, the bad boys of the world, Putin and his cohorts. They're the ones who always band together and say, America, you better stay out of this, because they're good friends with then Hugo Chavez, now Maduro. My advice to them is, like, why don't you feed your own people and police your own area and leave this part to us. Because I think that this is a really good thing. Not only did President Trump recognize Guaido as the actual legitimate leader, we'll see how that goes. But the other thing they did was very diplomatically skillful and smart. They got all the other leaders in the region, like the new president from Brazil, Bolsonaro, I can't remember the guy's name from Chile, but they've all said, we back this move as well. On Saturday, Secretary Pompeo will come to New York. He'll have I don't know if he presides over the emergency session at the UN, but that's what this is going to be about, and it's about time.
Marie, when will you confront the Democratic Party over their modern socialists? Because here you have this going on, and AOC and Bernie are still waxing nostalgic about this deadly ideology. What are you going to do about it, Marie?
You
yourself.
Me personally.
You personally.
So I don't like most of Bernie Sanders or AOC's policy proposals. I also think it is a huge stretch to compare them to what's happening in Venezuela. We can take them on their own and not say they want us to be Venezuela. When it comes to Venezuela, I would say we, as the United States, should promote our values and do things like recognizing this interim president, but we have to just keep in mind what is the best way that we can affect the outcome we want.
So you're saying assassination.
Sometimes the United States has tried to get certain outcomes by being too involved in other countries' internal affairs, by supporting opposition leaders or revolutions. So we just have to keep in mind that we have a little bit of a checkered history here. The other thing I would bring up is the diplomats that are still there. The President Maduro has asked them to leave. The president we are recognizing now has asked them to stay. As of right now, they're staying, but now they are in the middle of a very tense security situation. They are sort of being used as pawns here on the ground by both sides. That concerns me.
I mean, Dan,
that worries me a little bit.
Dan, I don't see both sides here, though, because it's like 12 years. This was a beautiful country.
But he still has the military, right?
Yeah, but
the GDP of Venezuela was $334 billion. It's been wiped out to $94 billion. Socialism is a plague and a stain on humankind that has a 100% success rate of failure.
Yeah.
It has failed. And I'm tired of these Democrats saying Denmark is socialist. It is not. Socialism is the government control of the means of production. Those are capitalist countries with big government entities. Stop conflating the two because you're confusing a bunch of impressionable people out there. Socialism is death and destruction, and I'm glad you mentioned the apologists because they're at fault too. Fascism hasn't escaped this. Socialism has because of people like Bernie Sanders.
Jesse, what would you do, President Waters?
Oh, that's a scary thought. Resign. Resign and take money elsewhere. No, if I was a reporter on Capitol Hill, I would go to AOC and I would say, look what's happening in Venezuela. Care to comment? And just a suggestion, but obviously this is a CIA operation. You can't allow a failed state in South America where the Chinese and the Russians come in and take over. I mean, this country's awash in wealth, and mineral wealth, and oil, and gold, and
good people.
And good people, and you can't let it descend into chaos. The Monroe Doctrine has to be upheld.
Named after Marilyn. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I wish I went to your school.
So did I.